Welcome everyone, Adam the Woo here, just looking at this dinosaur that is either regurgitating water up through his stomach into this fountain of goodness, or it's a sculpture that is attached to some sort of a hose region. You decide, real or not real. It's my second channel, daily vlog channel. It's The Daily Woo. I am at 3rd Street Promenade here in Santa Monica, California. I'm hanging out with my friend Scott Yukin. Of course, yesterday you saw him in the vlog. A lot of people do not know how to react to Scott's over antics, his character, if you will. Sometimes in front of a camera I get spastic and crazy, and Scott is no exception. He's over there filming videos for his channel. You can do it. Scott Yukin, Y-U-K-E-N, do it. So You Can Do It is his YouTube channel. If you are a fan of Scott and the ability to turn on everything like a switch in front of the camera like I am, and like my friend Justin Scard had him in his vlogs, go show Scott some love over on his channel as well. He was in yesterday's vlog. He's only here for another day or two, and then he flies back to Orlando, just talking about how you are here from Orlando.
Yes!
And I was telling them to go over to your channel, You Can Do It, and I was telling them, because people on yesterday's vlog were saying, man, this guy's a little crazy, he's a little spastic. What they don't realize is you are playing a character.
Yes, I'm not like this all the time, I swear.
Yes. A lot of people say you sound like Adam Sandler, but
I don't think I look like Adam Sandler at all.
No, they say your voice is, but I like to think you as a kinder, gentler, younger Gilbert Gottfried.
He's amazing, like an angry guy.
Some people don't like Gilbert Gottfried. Some people don't like you, but I like you.
Well, I appreciate
and there are
that.
actually more people like you than dislike. But look at this face. Look at this sweet face. Look. And do you want to talk about physical strength? Do you want to talk about the Olympian ideals? You are a god!
Oh, thank you. That means a lot.
And you know what's awesome, Scott? I wanted to show you some of the sights and the sounds of Santa Monica.
We saw a couple already.
Santa Monica Boulevard, which is right over there, but 3rd Street Promenade. Right here, I did a video of the filming locations of, you know what movie, you know what 80s movie was filmed right here?
You're going to have to tell me because it looks like parking lot.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High. The opening scene was right here. I did a filming location video. Just look up Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I did it with my buddy Tyler Evans, which is now my roommate. You are sleeping on mine and Tyler's couch the next couple of days, and then you're flying back to Orlando. So look up filming locations of Fast Times at Ridgemont High. The opening.
Me to do it or them to do it?
I can show you later on the phone. And also another 80s movie was filmed right over here. Did you ever see the movie Pretty in Pink? Well, did you ever see the movie Pretty in Pink?
I told you no. Would you be upset at me?
I would not be upset. As long as you've seen one of the two movies.
Okay.
And there's another movie down the way that was actually filmed out here. Another 80s movie. So basically the 3rd Street Promenade is a mecca of 80s nerd goodness. But right here, this exact building in Pretty in Pink was actually the record store. Now it's a coffee shop called Cafe. How do you spell that? Crep or creep?
Crip.
Crep? Crip? A crip? Or the crypt keeper? No.
Creepy
Cafe Creep. But this was actually where Ducky on the side was over there. They did the whole dancing scene inside. That might actually look familiar to you 80s nerds. The Molly Ringwald classic movie was right inside of there. And I did not know that until my good friend Justin Scard, who was a big 80s nerd just like me, reminded me and told me about that the first time Justin and I came out here. He showed me this, so shout out to Justin Scard and the Live Fast Die Poor crew, or just, actually, he's his own crew, one guy, when it comes to shout outs. But him and Tyler and a series of other guys run Live Fast Die Poor. And Justin told me about this fantastic location. I want to give credit where credit is due when it comes to people telling me information. So, Justin Scard, that one is for you. I think the place was called Tracks in the movie, Tracks.
I got a question for you. Why are there two dinosaurs?
There's two dinosaurs. There's that one.
Yes.
And you were filming it for a video you're going to put up on your channel.
Yes, just a short clip.
And there's another dinosaur. And there are two different types of dinosaurs.
That was a Triceratops. Is this supposed to be a Stegosaurus?
Might be a Stegosaurus.
If you stand right here, you'll get the splash zone.
The splash zone, just like on Splash Mountain.
Oh, it's flowing this way.
That is actually a weird looking dinosaur. It's very, very
I
unusual.
think it's artistically made. I don't think it's made for those paleontologists out there that are like, I like my dinosaurs real and exact. Well, you can exact that
Paleontologist is the word of the day. So speaking of other 80s locations, out here on this road was another famous movie starring Paul Reubens as the infamous Pee Wee Herman. And it was actually filmed right in here. This is where Pee Wee got his bike stolen. The bike shop, Chuck's Bike Harama. That's me. They called me Chuck. And the magic shop, all of it was up here. And as you can see, it looks a lot different than it did in the movie. But you can look up Adam the Woo, Pee Wee's Big Adventure filming locations. I mentioned Justin Scard. Me and him were out here about 2 years ago. We were filming the locations of Pee Wee's Big Adventure. And you were telling me in the van today, we were on our way up here, that you are a big fan of Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
That is true.
So you're excited about seeing the spot.
I'm stoked.
From where Chuck, it looks nothing like it did in the movie, but there are a couple little key pinpointed moments that actually make you realize that this was the spot. Of course, it looked a lot more 80s back then because what was Pee Wee's Big Adventure? 1984? 1985, 1986.
Now, was that Tim Burton's first?
It was Tim Burton's first movie, first feature film. Of course, he did, what was the short movie?
Vincent? Was it? No, that came later.
No. Vincent was later. What was the movie they just remade? It was a short film, and then Tim Burton made it into a new
Frankenweenie.
Frankenweenie. Right. Paul Reubens, of course, played the character just like you play your crazy character. Paul Reubens played Pee Wee Herman. Of course, they're supposed to be making another Pee Wee
They've been talking about that for years, though.
For a while.
I mean, like, obviously the people are there. That he did a show on Broadway, which we walked down Broadway. It's not as rough as they say it is to get in. But, hey, anything is possible through the magic
of what?
Of the movies.
This is very true. And on Netflix, the entire series of Pee Wee's Playhouse is on there. So there might be a new Pee Wee Herman movie coming out. The best one, in my opinion, Big Top Pee Wee. Wasn't really a huge fan of that, but Pee Wee's Big Adventure, a big fan. In fact, that possessed me to get my friend Justin Scard and I to route around all of Southern California and find all the locations, including, which is right up here on the 3rd Street Promenade. If you're not familiar with the landscape of Southern California, right over there, past these buildings, if you were to take a left here at this and go to the road, you would actually run into the water, into the beach. And that is where Santa Monica Pier is, which of course is where Three's Company was filmed. There's an awesome little roller coaster on the pier. We saw a dolphin swimming around.
No,
there was a seal. There was not the singer seal, not Kissed by a Rose of the Grave.
Batman Forever.
Right, no.
No.
But right down there is the water. This runs parallel. So you got 1 street, 2 street, 3 streets also affectionately known.
Dr. Seuss might have named it.
It's true,
Dr.
Dr.
Seuss.
Seuss.
In numerical order, I can't.
3rd Street, 3 streets down is 3rd Street Promenade. It is a mecca, not only of tourism, but also local traffic. There's a Starbucks, there's a jewelry shop, there's an Abercrombie and Finch, there's actually an Apple store out here. And sometimes, not really today so much, there are usually a lot of people out here singing and dancing. I think they call it busking, which is when you have some sort of a talent. Instead of just panhandling normally, not coming up to you and saying, "Give me $1, sir, give me $1," for basically no real reason other than asking. But busking is a form basically of doing that, but also showing off your talent. So if you can sing, if you can dance, if you can juggle, if you can break dance, if you have some sort of a talent, you can bring it out to the public forum, if you will.
What if your talent is just to stand there and look at people and make people uncomfortable?
You could try it. You could just stand there. You could just stand there.
Stand there and throw out my jacket right here and just stare at everyone. Right here, that's where the money goes. And I just stare at people. From across the way, I've got eye contact with one guy right now. It's working. Oh, he stopped looking now, but he knows I'm watching. I'm busking.
If I got any money.
I'm busking.
I would really like to throw a quarter down there. Because you are now busking.
I'm busking.
And actually, you are not busking, because busking really has to do with...
I have a talent. It's called
staring. Usually, it has to do with some sort of movement, some sort of motion, some sort of vocal beautifulness that comes out of your mouth.
This is called performance art, sir, and it is not defined.
Now, if you brought the crazy Scott Eugen character, how many tips do you think you would get a day?
One of the tips would be choke up on the bat, hit the ball, or run to first. That's how the game's played. That would probably be the only money I'd be leaving with.
You're probably right. Money in the form of verbal money.
Yes, information. Whoa,
all right.
There's more dinosaurs.
So get excited now, not because of the dinosaurs, but right in this area is where Paul Rubens, as Pee Wee Herman, and Tim Burton, his first movie, Paul Rubens loved Tim Burton's short film, like we were saying back there, Frankenweenie, and said, I want this guy to direct my movie, my first movie. So basically, Paul Rubens actually had a big part of Tim Burton going into the stratosphere of Hollywood and becoming Tim Burton as we know him today. So thank you to Paul Rubens for introducing the world to Tim Burton. But right
Michael Keaton is Batman if it wasn't for
that
Tim
came
Burton.
after.
Yeah, we wouldn't. I know we wouldn't have it. It would be. He would just been some guy. Bob Gale would have been like, "It's Batman. Let me draw this out for you."
All right, so we're right here now, and actually, since I've been out here last time, they've even renovated even more of it. But right over here is Chuck's Bike-O-Rama, and the way you can tell, Scott, I know the excitement that you're having right now. The Sunglass Hut. The Sunglass Hut is Chuck's Bike-O-Rama. So basically when you walk in, there's a counter way off in the back. About halfway from the door to the counter is where the area where Pee-wee said to Dottie, I'm a loner Dottie, a rebel. We're going to peek in there in a minute. But the way that you can tell, that you can see in the Out on the Woo Pee-wee's Big Adventure video, is you see this little Armani exchange where it says AX right across there. Now take a look at this, not a billboard, but a marquee, an old marquee that runs across.
Yes.
See the marquee that has those 3 slots going this way?
Yes, I see the slots.
Underneath the windows? Well, this marquee was actually here in the movie. So when you watch the movie back, I'll show you a little bit later when we get some lunch, I will pull up the movie or pull up my video and I will show you that right here to the left of it was Chuck's Bike-O-Rama. It's been all renovated, but those windows match up. And all this matches up the same. All this looks totally different down here, but this is the exact spot. And of course, you know what happened just outside Chuck's Bike-O-Rama.
The little... Where was it at?
The clown was actually over here. Is that what you're going for?
Yeah,
You're going for
I wanted
the clown? I will show you the exact location of where the clown was. Now, none of this really makes a lot of sense because this is an unedited vlog. These unedited vlogs are basically meant for you to join me in my life. Whoever I'm hanging out with on a daily basis, that's who's in my vlog, like Scott is today. Who knows who'll be in my vlog tomorrow or the next day or the next day. Sometimes it's just me. Sometimes it's me with my friends, and sometimes it's at movie locations, abandoned stuff, or it's just me showing you around, wandering around wonderful places just like this. So the clown, Scott.
Yes.
The clown was actually right over here, basically right where this is. And the way you can tell is because these windows look exactly the same as they did in the movie. So he would have chained up the bike right here. Remember, the clown was like laughing, so like Pee-wee's like going and the clown's laughing. That is awesome. And the way I figured this out is, a year or two ago, when Justin Scard and I did the video, right over here where this Brookstone store is, this used to actually be a movie theater, and there was actually an old marquee. So when you're watching Pee-wee in terror, when he's going, and the clown's making the noise, just like that, if you look behind him, there was actually a movie theater with the marquee festooning itself out, and the magic shop where he goes over, and there's like a monkey with a stick.
The guy shows up like this. Well, I mean, this might be the interior. He's like, oh,
Well, actually, Justin redid that in my video. He goes, my good friend Pee-wee! Justin did a good job, and that was actually the subway. And that right there, where the woman in the green shirt is throwing away the trash and walking out, that pillar there to the right-hand side is where the monkey was, that when Pee-wee walked in, he patted the monkey on the head, and the monkey had a magic wand floating around. So we are here at fantastic 80s filming location. Way down there, the filming locations I showed you down there. The recreation that Scott Eugen did here of the fantastic clown that was right here. If you want to see a more detailed account, just go to my YouTube page, Out on the Woo, and look up Adam the Woo, filming locations, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and of course, down at the very end, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. So we're going to get some lunch and then have another full day of fun. Scott is going back. Well, actually, you're going to be flying up to San Francisco for a couple days to visit some family, and then either flying back or driving back. He hasn't decided what he's going to be doing going back to Orlando. I met Scott a while back. First time we met was actually at Disneyland.
Disney World.
Oh, you're right,
Magic
because
Kingdom.
we were at Disneyland recently, and we rode Snow White, which is still open at Disneyland. But the first time I ever met you, I was a fan of some of the stuff you were doing online. You were kind of like, oh, Adam's videos are cool, so we got together.
Actually, I talked to you online on YouTube about the Flight of the Navigator locations at the Burt Reynolds.
Which was all down in South Florida,
yes.
which is where you grew up at one point.
Jupiter, Florida. Surprise, surprise. Me come from Jupiter, Florida.
See, a lot of you at Jupiter. Some people think you're out of this world.
Whoa,
he's actually from Jupiter.
The first two or first three letters, but spelled differently.
I think some people online are confused by the Scott Yukin mystique.
I don't think there's much of mystique here.
There's
I'm
a
just
pretty
here
big
to
mystique. I
ride
know
my
you
bike.
pretty well, and Scott Yukin definitely has a mystique and aura that I have not quite even figured out yet. So you were from Florida. We met at Disney World. We met on the ride, the final day ride through of Snow White at Disney World. And then the other day, me and you together reunited our kinship, our love for the Snow White ride, and we rode
getting out there from
here at Disneyland.
And I'm
getting too weird for you. Yeah, listen, everyone.
Well, you were getting like
Scott,
close vocally.
I'm getting a little. We're gonna do my best, Scott. You can.
Is that what I do?
Is that all right? Leave some not some hateful comments, but leave some normal comments. Do I sound like Scott Yukin?
You can actually see that reunion on Snow White on my new video where I go to Disneyland. It's called First Trip to Disneyland with Adam the Woo and Justin Scard, or maybe vice versa.
That's right. Me and Justin Scard.
I'm dyslexic, so I get things back and forth and back.
Just look up Yukin, YUKEN DOIT. You can do it on YouTube, and you can see some of the stuff Scott does, as well as some of his daily travels and adventures and stuff that he kind of uploads on a normal basis. So we're just going to wander around. We're going to get some food. We might get some Subway. We might go into where the magic shop was, get something to eat. And look, there's Pee-wee. We have found the thief of Pee-wee's bike right there.
Everyone has a bike except for Pee-wee Herman.
Is that Francis? Francis has lost some weight.
And changed
ethnicities. Have a great day, everyone. We'll have a great day. Please subscribe. Check out Scott's channel, or don't. Do whatever you want. Either way, life goes on. The world goes on. Everything revolves. Whether you like something, whether you dislike something.
Just enjoy yourself.
And I love this guy.
That's the best thing I could say. Hey, one thing I want to say, and this is me breaking down, talking to you.
You're going into a character.
No, I'm talking to them.
Okay,
call your parents. Make sure that they know that you love them, because you never know. And life is a very interesting thing. So always leave with a smile on your face. Because if you don't leave with a smile on your face, you're going to walk around looking like this. And no one wants that. No one wants that.
Goodbye.